go, gang. I got to get as much wear out of this thing as I can. Troy W. Hudson, the voiceover with personality. How you folks doing? It is Friday. It is 5 o'clock on the East Coast, 2 on the Pacific side of this great fruited plain. The voiceover weekly stew is happening right now. And does anybody else get that? Yeah, after you take it off. And you know what I found wearing the masks, or this neck gaiter, or whatever you want to call it. I got it from SA Fishing. Got a collection of them. You like the color? It actually looks more green. My color balance looks a little bit off. Or it could just be so bright and neon-y that I can't quite get the color right. Yeah, anyway, it's hard to, you don't have to chew gum. When you go into stores, normally it'd be like, oh, pop a piece of gum, just, to be nice and polite. In case you get, next to a cashier, you don't want your breath, so you pop a couple of pieces of gum. Well, what I noticed now, you can go anywhere and just like, you don't have to brush your teeth. You don't have, you just put a ball cap on, some dark shades. You could not bathe for like a week and, you don't get too close to anybody and nobody's going to know. That's not that I would do that. No, personal hygiene is important. And it does look rather stylish, like I'm flying an old biplane or something. So I think I have some comments here. I turned that window off. I'm sorry about that. Domingo. How you doing, buddy? Domingo Castillo, a fantastic voiceover artist, and awesome teacher, as I understand. Thanks for joining me, my friend. The voiceover weekly stew is on. It's live. It's happening right now. And in case you couldn't tell, I'm all bandaged up. I have like a Band-Aid here. I'll just show you. See, I got a Band-Aid here, and I got holes poked in me here. And I got holes poked in me here. In case you didn't know, it is Red Cross Friday. It's the Friday I go to the Red Cross. Normally the first Friday in the month, but last week I had just come off a Denver trip. I was seriously just like fatigued. I wasn't feeling all that 100%. I was flat out tired and too lazy to go in, so I moved my appointment to today. So the 9th is Red Cross Friday, and of course I couldn't get out of there with taking some snacks. Yeah, got some snacks. You know what I got? I don't think they had them last time, but they got them this time. The Nutter Butter Peanut Butter Sandwich Cookie Bites made with real, not that artificial crap, real peanut butter. So I got the good stuff this time. They subbed out the Chips Ahoy mini cookies, I think. And so I just had the, is that obnoxious? Yeah, it's a pop screen, but it's not good for rattling paper. I'm surprised the dogs haven't come running in here. I may have spoken too soon. If they do pop in, I'll flip the phone around and let you see them. Because I know that's a highlight for a lot of people. Entertainment being what it is and outlets being what they are these days. So yeah, I got the Nutter Butters. I promise I will abstain until, I'm done with the live. Unless somebody wants to grab a snack or something and join me. I tell you what I almost did before the live came on. I had this thing on, and I went to grab my water, and I came so close, but I didn't do it. So I'm going to take a sip now. I must go through like at least a gallon, maybe more a day, of just room temperature water. When people offer me water, it's oftentimes I'm like, they assume you want ice water or cold bottled water, and normally I will deflect and say, no, do you have anything like warm? And it's like, you want, okay, warm water, that's fine. It's like I get used to it, and when I get cold, not that it hurts my teeth, but I'm so used to drinking the regular room temperature stuff because the cold stuff, to be honest with you, as a voiceover guy, it actually does. I find it constricting to the vocal cords. I don't know if any of you other folks are like that. Obviously, don't mess around with dairy products or milk prior to a session. Coffee sometimes, when I do occasionally drink it, I don't drink it on a regular basis. But while that does give me kind of a notch up in the energy level as far as the caffeine hitting, even after just one cup, maybe two, I find it that the whatever it does to my tongue kind of counteracts that. So there we go. And thank you, Tammy. You had a long banner up there saying "looking good." This thing does look good, doesn't it? I got the green kerchief, and I got the red bandages, and I got the neon watch, and whatever this thing is, and yellow duck back there. Kazoo the duck is here with us today. And so today is Red Cross Friday. I don't go and do like whole blood. What I do is once a month I go and give platelets, which is about a 2-hour process. It takes about 3 hours once you do all the paperwork and answer the incredibly personal questions. But it's platelets. It's amazing. They have about a 5-day lifespan, as I understand it, on the shelf. So they need to get them to hospitals with leukemia patients, with cancer patients. And giving blood is amazing and awesome. You can do that every 56 days. The platelets I could do every 3 weeks, but honestly, it takes a lot out of me. I was freezing by the time I finished. Sometimes I'm not. Today I was. It could have been my calcium level. Not really sure. I didn't eat lunch, so I had plenty of snacks, and I even had a take-home bag. Yep, gonna enjoy these Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies in a bit. The Red Cross Day, got my snacks. I want to tell you something. This past week, this just goes to show you, my average week booking rate is, I was looking back before we started this thing, is about, I looked at the past 2 weeks, not counting the travel week, was about 35 to 45 individual jobs per week on various platforms and direct with clients. And weird week. Like last week was 3 days I was out of the studio. I was traveling. I was in Denver hanging out with family, and I got back on Friday and I had a couple of jobs in. Monday comes along and nothing. Tuesday, just a couple of little projects. By the end of the week, I was like, what in the heck was going on? I had only 8 booked jobs during the course of the week. So I decided to throw this whole voiceover thing away and start something new. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just kidding. No, because my source is not, and a friend reminded me of this, my source is not in the jobs or the income. That's how I make a living, but my source is not from that. My source is is much deeper than that. My source and my faith is in God and God alone to provide those opportunities for me, to make sure I'm taken care of. In the lean weeks or in the bountiful weeks, I am happy and content in the thick of it and in the thin of it. And honestly, it wasn't like a nervousness. It was just like a curiosity. It was like an oddity because things have been so crazy busy for as long as I can remember. At least for as long as I've been doing these lives, I can't remember. Maybe it's been 1 week where I expressed a little bit of concern like, hey, what's going on? I don't know what's happening here. But this week was odd. But, crazy as it is in this wacky world of voiceover, while I was at the Red Cross, my phone was dinging and going off. And by the time it was all done, I was sitting there at the table eating the snacks. Did I mention I got Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies? Well, I didn't bring home the other stuff, the cheese crackers and what else? What there was? Oh, yeah, strawberry yogurt and chocolate milk. And anyway, while I was doing that, I was on my phone responding while I was recovering from the platelet thing, because when you get off, you're kind of a little bit lightheaded and you need to get some sugar and some calcium and some nutrients back in your body because they pull them out and then they put them back in. So, I ended up booking a half dozen jobs this afternoon for the weekend. So, that's, it's crazy. It's topsy-turvy, and it just goes to show you, from one day to the next, it's like the weather in South Carolina. You wait a day and everything will change. And some of you folks can probably relate to that where you're at, too, in this wacky fall season that we're in. But, man, it does feel nice out there. I came in today, and it was around 80 degrees, and it's supposed to get down to 50, I think. No, wait, let me check that forecast real quick. I was wrong. It's going to be down in the low 70s, but it is going to cool back down. I'm going to treat the puppies to, I was going to do it last night. I didn't do it last night. I'm going to treat the puppies to, it's always better to have like a fire and a fire pit thing. Tonight, when I'm going to go to the store, I didn't do it last night. I'm going to go to the store and get some like bratwurst dogs, and they really like the bratwurst dogs. I don't know. If they leave me some, I'll take it. So, I'll be doing that, and we'll doing a fire pit thing. And I want to tell you where it really, really got me wanting to do it. I watched a gentleman, a fellow voiceover artist, if you're listening right now, Jeff Zapp. I watched him do something really, really interesting and innovative last night. And it's one of those things where I was like, man, why didn't I think of that? It was so cool because, and I'm not going to copy it, Jeff, don't worry about it, but I wanted to send out kudos to you to give credit where credit is due. If I ever do something similar, I'll have to say Jeff Zapp inspired me to do this. And this is what it was. He got on Instagram Live, didn't multicast or anything, just what he called a fireside chat. And it was the coolest thing. I stayed on there for, I guess, about 20 minutes. And he was just kind of, I know part of it was he was just kind of waiting for people to get on. But I got on early because I saw him. And then there's that awkward moment of being the only one there. And you don't, because when somebody starts talking to you, you don't want to be that guy that checks out when you're the only one in the room. You know what I'm talking about. Come on, you know, you've been there. You're watching it live, and they reference you, and you're sitting there going, I can't hang up. I can't walk away. He's talking to me. That'd be rude. At least that's the way I feel. So anyway, initially I was just going to like, oh, what's Jeff doing? And he's doing a fireside chat. He's lighting the fire. It's really hard to see him. But then he turned on the light, and I could see him, and I got pulled into this conversation with him. I was only texting, sending messages back in the DM, but he just started sharing his heart. And it was the most casual, relaxing, positive, vulnerable, kind of real live moment, more real than I've seen in a long time. And it wasn't hype. It wasn't marketing. It was just relatability. It was just like, I'm putting myself out there. This is a fireside chat, whatever you guys want to talk about. So Jeff Zapp, you got it down, buddy. I can only aspire to be, to have that connection when I'm sitting in front of a camera. And it was just his iPhone. It was a phone camera. Had his dog next to him, but it mostly was just him sharing his heart with the fire crackling in the background. He had a little, I think he had a little bourbon in a glass. And he showed the bottle, and he said, I'm not a drunk, quote unquote. He said, I just like, it's got a nice, I think he said smoky taste, probably because of the fire. No, I don't know. I don't know bourbons. I'm domestic. I drink domestic beer. There, I said it. I drink domestic beer. I don't know my wines. Cheer wine. I think that's good. Who knows? So anyway. Yeah, I wanted to do a toss out and a shout out to Jeff Zapp for giving me that inspiration. Again, I'm probably not going to do like I wouldn't call it a fireside chat. And for you kids who don't know what that is, harken way back, get on Google and look at fireside chat. That references, I believe, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the president, like in the 1930s into the 40s, who would have these, at the time, I think it was radio chats, and I think they called them fireside chats. And I think some presidents after him kind of took that and built on that, and they called them fireside chats, where you're just sitting by the fireside and you're just talking, and it's a relaxed sort of environment. And it's pretty much just a monologue. In this case, Jeff was looking for a dialogue, so I thought that was really cool. I got off after about 30 minutes because I had other things to do, but I thought it was very creative. So I talked about the bookings being a little lean, and they were a little lean, let me tell you about that. And so tonight, I won't do a live because that'd be kind of silly. But I am going to relax. Not that I worked really hard, but I've got to rest in preparation for the Saturday work. Yeah, that's what I got to do. And Sunday, for those of you, here's something, getting out and having the balance. I had no work-life balance this past week because what I did is I wrapped up, this is startling to me. I wrapped up my 56-56 challenge on the, I think it was last Saturday night. And what that was, I've come to find out a lot more people have been following and watching my Instagram feed and know what that was than I even imagined. Jeff even referenced it last night on his fireside chat as we were sitting there back, I was watching him, but I was texting back to him, responding to him. But I noticed that I've had numerous people say, oh, yeah, I watched that challenge thing you did. That was really great. You had me inspired for a little while. Or it's crazy. And so it's weird that, you're not seeing any live numbers pop up there, but people are watching it in replay. And by the way, thank you if you're joining me live. I appreciate that. If you're on the replay, appreciate you. But yeah, the 56-56 challenge was basically just 56 straight days of hiking at least 5.6 of room temperature water. And so, yeah, I did 56 straight days, and it was tough. There were some days that were hard, and it was a personal physical challenge. I didn't do any special diets or anything. Like I was telling somebody yesterday, I probably could have lost at least 10 pounds doing it if I'd have been better disciplined with the diet. But I did the hike, and I was just like, hey, whatever. You know what? It's time for Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies. But yeah, I didn't couple it with that. So I did do the challenge, though. And that kind of set me up for when it was over to just go nothing for a while, baby. So for the past week, since last Saturday, I've just been kind of no walking, just vegging, and telling myself I'm getting ready for the next challenge, which is going to be the 57-57 challenge. And the correlation with the 56 and the 57 is on October 17th, it will be 57 days, counting forward, will be my 57th birthday on December 13th. Gifts can be sent to Troy W. Hudson. No, just kidding. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So 57 days, I'm still working out the plans, but it's going to be much more intense, and it's going to be coupled with exercise. I'm going to have a diet plan worked out. And originally, I found out what my starting weight was at the Red Cross, but I'm not going to tell you how much it was. But it's more than it was when I finished the challenge. I'll just put it that way, from vegging out and not doing much activity. By the way, Watson's really ticked at me for not getting out, because he was really used to doing 5.5, 6 miles a day. And you go from that to a screeching halt, and the dog's like at the door, and he's like, come on. Is he picking up the leash, grabbing the truck keys, and it's really awkward. Then he loses them. And so when I need to go someplace, it's not good. So the 57-57 challenge is going to be back into that work-life balance thing, where I am going to set goals, and they will tie into the 57, but it's more just getting there. It's not trying to do the same amount of stuff every single day and starting out too much, too hard. But I've already decided that originally I was going to do like, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in 57 days. You can do that? Is that healthy? You're an extremist. Really? Yes. And so I thought, just go for it. Just go off the deep end. It's like, when you're 20s, 30s, your body can handle that sort of radical, intense workout if you haven't been doing it for a while. But I know something. I've lived a few years, kids, and I can tell you that is not a healthy way to jump from 0 to 60 and then trip over your shoelaces when you get to about 10. So the idea is to gradually build up and hit that goal level at around in somewhere in the day 50s, getting up to the birthday. So the idea is the goal is, regardless of what I do, the goal is to lose 20 to 25 pounds the first 57 days up to my birthday when I turn 57. And then the remainder of the weight, which would be 20, 25 pounds more. You do the math, kids. From here down, it ain't pretty. From here down, it ain't pretty. There we go. But talk about being real. Have I mentioned how much I enjoy Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies? Glad it's not a bigger bag. This is the low diet bag. Yeah, right. Okay. But anyway, between diet and exercise and all that good stuff, that's the whole balance thing I'm going to strike, because I've listened to myself back when I was, say, lighter or healthier. And what I've discovered is I sound better. I sound different. I have better breath control. Crazy as it sounds, and I know it's kind of like fundamental. It should be a no-brainer. But, I know none of you do this, but if you kind of get in a rut, in a routine of doing the same thing, then after a while, I'm talking about eating and not exercising, you get used to that sound in your head, and if it starts to, like, I'm having trouble pronouncing certain words, or I'm having a little more trouble with breath control, or I'm having to clean up more breaths in the editing process, you need to, identify, okay, what's the problem? Am I having issues, or is this just poor health conditions, not taking care of yourself? And I've identified the fact that I really believe that earlier in the year, God was speaking to me through the Holy Spirit, and I believe He was telling me to watch these certain warning things that I was doing. And I didn't verbally hear it, but it was as close to a verbal voice I could hear. And I wrote these things down, and I stuck it on my fridge, and I went back and looked at it. And all those things that it was clearly indicating to me that God was trying to tell me, cut these out. I'm trying to take care of you. This is important for your health and your well-being and your career and your ability to be around here for a long time, because I am determined to hit triple digits. And that is, in order to do that, you need to take care of yourself in these areas. Eliminate this, start doing this. And so it was a very comprehensive but simple list of things. And so I realized all those things I had totally botched. I had done them for a while, but then I totally botched, and I realized my health and the way I was feeling was so off track compared to in previous years when I was taking better care of myself and I had a better balance. I am getting ready to go into, probably next week, I'm going to have a big celebration here. A week from today, I'll be celebrating my 8th year of doing voiceover full time, because it was 8 years ago this week that I entered the second week of my 2-week notice as a video editor back in 2012. And so, next Friday I'm going to do something. I'll have to come up with something special. There could be party favors. There could be no, there won't be these. Oh yeah, that's right. There could be, because I don't start on this until the 17th. So there's no telling what I'll bring next week. I may order a pizza and just live go pick it up. I'm not sure, but I'm going to celebrate somehow. I may have a cupcake with a sparkler in it. I may actually get batteries to replace my LED lights back there. You can't sit there. It takes so long for that lava lamp to warm up. The little googly alien thing will start gurgling up. Where's it at? Yeah, there it is. And it'll work its way up finally, and it'll just kind of clog there, but it looks kind of weird. But anyway, I'll do something more to celebrate. I might buy a new hat. I don't know. It's hard to say. I want to share with you a couple of projects that I did. Let me see if I can find the right screen. They're both kind of in the same. They're not in the same genres, but they're definitely have the same vibe or feel to them. And one of them is for an audiobook trailer. For an audiobook I actually recorded back in, I want to say 2016 or 2017, for a gentleman named Frank Williams. I believe his byline in the book, so his author byline is Frank L. Williams. And I've actually done some promo work for his company, Pioneer Strategies. And he asked me, after I did the audiobook, it'd been several years since I heard from him, and he asked me to do the book trailer to promote the actual audiobook. And so I did that, and he sent me the script, and immediately the correlation with today's events and the timing of him marketing it, really, really smart. And I thought it came out pretty well. And it took me to a place really, let me move this thing in really. It took me to a place really, really deep. And so that scared me a little bit. Okay. So that's the first one I'll play. And then the next one I'll play engages that lower register. And it required me, the next one after the first one is, let me just do that. Let me just play that one and then explain the second one so we don't get confused, because it doesn't take a lot. So let me bring it up. That's not the one. Where are you? Okay. I'm looking for the screen. That's not the screen. That's the other room. That is not what I shared. What I created. Is this it? No, that's from last week. All right, let me pull this up here. I had it set, and then it went away. There it is. This is the Instagram page for Frank Williams. NC stands for North Carolina. And this is the trailer video. And this, again, was just on Instagram. I think it might have been on Facebook. Definitely on the social media pages on Instagram and Facebook. I've not seen it anywhere else. And so let me get over to that page, and I think I'll need to mute myself and so I don't get feedback. But here, and I'll let it loop a couple of times.
Sometimes a recent eerily reflects current events. Looting and violence in our cities. Citizens ordered to stay in their homes. Empty shelves in stores. Federal Homeland Security Police patrolling our streets. Citizens forced to defend themselves and their families. What would you do? Where would you go? Who would you trust after the fall of the Republic? Order your copy of After the Republic today. Sometimes a recent eerily reflects current events. Looting and violence in our cities. Citizens ordered to stay in their homes. Empty shelves in stores. Federal Homeland Security Police patrolling our streets. Citizens forced to defend themselves and their families. What would you do? Where would you go? Who would you trust after the fall of the Republic? Order your copy of After the Republic today.
Okay, so that was the After the Republic trailer for the audiobook. And now I want to play for you something else I did. And this was a live session, and it was for a high school, interesting booking. It was for a high school football team, kind of a rallying cry. And the guy referenced the Spartan movies, I think it was the 300. And the mascot of this football team, it's a fairly large high school in I believe it's in Southern California. And the school is named the Damien High School, and it's the Spartans. So it's the Damien Spartans football team. And again, I'll play this a couple of times. This is on their Instagram page, and I believe that's the only place it is. But I'll play this for you again. This was a live session that I was involved in. It was I think it was a Zoom call. And so the gentleman was directing me through this. And it was quite an interesting session because by the time I was done, I was hoarse. We did multiple reads until we found that just that right vibe that he was looking for. I didn't see the visual, so I didn't know what he was going to do. It's just a short ad. And I'll mute myself and jump over to the Instagram page of theirs, the Damien Spartan football team, and play that for you real quick, and then I'll be right back. Muting now.
There is no retreat, and there will be no surrender. That is the Spartan code. We will stand, and we will fight. There is a new era that has begun that day. Madness. We are Spartans! There is no retreat, and there will be no surrendering. That is the Spartan code. We will stand, and we will fight. There is a new era that has begun at Damien. Madness? No. We are Spartans!
So there you go. We are Spartans, and yeah, that kind of took a bit out of me because we did that numerous times, and I couldn't really hold back. I'm trying to get back to Ecamm Live. There I am. I couldn't really hold back on that one because he kept saying, more intense. Like this is just like they're coming out for the play, they're coming out for the game, and this is intense, and you're trying to psych them up, and it's just like it's like a goosebumpy kind of thing. And so we are Spartans, and a few of them that he didn't use were just off the charts. It was just like I threw my arms up. I was totally into it. Again, by the time I was done, That could be part of my fitness thing. I could just sit in here and scream and yell and do, just game characters and just crazy stuff like that. I was sweating by the time the Zoom recording session was done, but it was a blast. And of course, when you see it all put together, something I did do before sending it off to the client was I gave them the raw wave version, cleaned up with all the extraneous comments in between of the directed session. But what I did was I added some extra compression to kind of round it out and fill it up. He added some reverb, obviously, on their end on the post side. I didn't do that to him. I sent them the basic raw version of just me like, "We are Spartans!" And then I added some compression and it was just like, "We are Spartans!" I didn't do that. But it added some depth and some range to it that wasn't there in the raw form. So he had his option to do that. And then, of course, he added the reverb to it later, and they were happy with it, and he was excited by it. Hopefully, I hope the Damien Spartans go on to have a great season this year. Oddly enough, one of the projects I did for another high school football team, and by the way, you would think, oh, high school football team, what kind of budgets do they have? Surprisingly, not too bad. Actually, quite nice. I was surprised, and I guess I shouldn't be because, in certain parts of the country, high school athletics, especially high school football, is some pretty intense stuff. And this other one I did the previous week when I got back from Denver was for a team that I did the recap of the season the previous year, and they wanted me to do it again this year. And that was kind of like think of the NFL Network. And that sort of dramatic kind of read like this. And it was, again, that kind of lower registered, that kind of no-nonsense stuff, and that kind of play-by-play thing. And it was just like boom, boom, grinding, muscles, blood, dirt, all over the field. So doing those 2 weeks in a row back-to-back is kind of fun because you just kind of turn it loose. You get in your mind this stereotypical sort of just like, I played high school football 1 year. It wasn't pretty, and it was in no one's record books. But your mind, and my mind went to that period of time, and I'm imagining what it was like, getting ready to come out and bust through that paper. With the cheerleaders holding the paper when you come out and the team names on it, and, everybody's like, like that. And so I remember that. I think they had toilet paper from my school. I'm not sure. No, we didn't have a very successful season that year. Anyway, but I do remember that when we played the state champions, what an I was sitting there going, that is cool. And what they did was they had this like intro thing. This is before they had more AV stuff. I'm sure they've got a big screen there and lots of ways to pump up the crowd and an incredible sound system. What I remember running out to, not my team, but the team we played that ended up being the state champions, was AC/DC's Back in Black, and like pumping through the whole stadium. And you're sitting there on the other side of the field going, well, this is already off to a bad start. But at the same time, you're going, because you did that when AC/DC came on back then. So it's amazing. But it took me back to that period, this would have been 1981, 82. It took me all the way back to that and that vibe and that sort of, that Friday night sort of atmosphere and the cooler August nights and the sound systems and the teams just all, and the adrenaline and the testosterone and the mud and the blood and all over the field and the mouthpieces hanging and so I kind of went there. And of course, I'm picturing the 300 in my head, but that's how I got prepped mentally for that. And they liked it, so that was the main thing. And I thought it turned out pretty cool. So yeah. Do I have anything on this short list of things? If I had more projects this week, I would have talked about more. I can look real quick and see if I have anything coming up. See, what do I have tomorrow? I have a short pickup project for Energy World Net. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Fiverr projects. That was something really interesting I meant to note as I was talking about the slower period this past week. Fiverr is, you can be doing the same thing on Fiverr, in case you don't know it. For, just doing the same thing, business is humming along really well, and it has been for the last 3 or 4 months. But then all of a sudden, you can fall off their radar. An algorithm will change on their end, or they will shuffle things around and they'll rotate sellers in and out from different pages. And all of a sudden you're buried on a back page and you're not getting any traction. And even though you've got repeat buyers coming in, but getting out of that front first or second rotation page on Fiverr can just be hard. You can't explain it. You're not controlling the marketing of what you're doing on Fiverr to a degree. There are ways to tweak it, but then there are sometimes you just get buried in the mix. And I actually was. And what I did, I looked at what are called impressions, and I think I had 1 job from Fiverr this week. Yep. I'm looking at it. It was actually a continuation from a previous week. So there's only 1 Fiverr job, and that's normally it's half, a third to a half of the jobs I will book. Not necessarily the income, but a third to a half of the jobs that I will book in a week. And so it was so strange, and I contacted a guy that used to be, I was assigned a Fiverr Success Manager is what they call him. And this gentleman was assigned to me, and I'm sure, I don't know how many dozens or hundreds, who knows, people. And I was one of them in the voiceover category. And he was extremely helpful while I had him helping me. I didn't ask for it, but he was assigned to me, I guess because I was in that level where they were trying to make sure the people that were successful were still going to maintain success or to coach them along the way. And then I fell off his roster, and then he picked up some other clients or was assigned some other people. But he told me that when in August, at the end of August, which was a great month for me on Fiverr, he told me that he would no longer be available, but if I ever had an issue, while he wasn't officially assigned to my success on Fiverr, he would help me out if he could. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, he's a great guy. He's helped me on numerous occasions. A half dozen times I called on him because there were issues with an order or some account thing or a bad experience. And I was like, is there anything you can do about this? And he went to bat for me. He took care of it. He made sure it was done. Very, very efficient. Super, super great guy. But when it was over, I was like, he probably just says that. It's one of those things, I'll call you. It's like, no matter how cool a guy you are, you get busy with other stuff, you're probably not going to hear from him again. But I took the chance during this really slow week, and I looked at what are called my impressions, which are the number of times somebody comes to your gig page, your seller page on the Fiverr site. And I looked at it and I thought, something's up because the numbers are so far down. I didn't do anything different. But nonetheless, I emailed him. His name is Chris. And I emailed him and I said, Chris, I'm not sure what's going on. Since I went on vacation, I didn't put myself on vacation mode. I just delayed my delivery dates, and I'm not really sure what's happening. But it was gone from way up here on the graph, you could see the graph, to way down low, and it just basically flatlined on everything I was trying to do. And I hadn't done anything different. I just adjusted my delivery dates. And he said, let me look into it. And first I was shocked that he responded, but then his follow-up comment was, he said, I found the problem for you. There was some metrics here, when you edited things, it got stuck in a pipeline somewhere. It was not taken out of that holding pattern or whatever. And you should see the numbers bounce back up in 24 hours. Lo and behold, he was a man true to his word. He did not have to do that. Again, man, I can't say enough about people that go above and beyond. Chris, what I did is I sent him out a gratitude box earlier today. If you're not familiar with that, I sent out gratitude boxes to a bunch of clients last month, I believe it was in September, as a thank you for the amazing work that I've been blessed to have through some of my top clients. And I felt really strongly. I thought to myself, Chris has been to bat for me numerous times as a customer service person, and I've done really well on Fiverr. And it's like I need to show some sort of gratitude for that. So I sent him a thank you note and put the stuff I'd put in the gratitude box. I sent him a coffee mug and some stickers and decals and cards and things like that. And just to kind of express, how grateful I was that he's been there and that he was there when he didn't have to be there. And probably, I can look at the calendar right now. I don't know if I can jump over there right now or not. Am I there? Oh, I are there. Let me move some stuff around. It's me? Yeah, it's me. Oh, where am I at? There we go. If you can see, let me scroll over here. Yeah, there we go. That's a Fiverr job for tomorrow. 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 And that's EWN, and that is a radio commercial for Tommy Gunn's restaurant. And that's some video editing. But yeah, all this afternoon, this is how things changed between the slow part of the week and all this other stuff right here. So yeah, pretty amazing shift, and all because the guy decided to pick up that bat and step into the box one more time. Sports metaphors, I love them. And did that out of the goodness of his heart and because he's a dedicated professional, and he didn't have to do that. So if I had a hat, let me just take these headphones off. Headphones off to you, Chris. You know who you are, buddy. And that gratitude box is on the way, and hopefully you'll enjoy that mug. Hey, I don't have a lot more left to say. I don't see any questions, but I've enjoyed hanging out with you folks. I'm going to go to the store, get some bratwurst dogs for the puppies because I know they like them. And I'm going to have these Nutter Butter Peanut Butter Sandwich cookies as we close it out, and a little bit of water. And there will be a fire tonight. You know what? I'm not even sure I want to wait. Should I wait? Is it rude? I don't know. Do I have any closeout music to play? Do I? I'm trying to see. That's French music. Oh, you know what? Why not? Little French music to take us out on a Friday. Because this does have a rather European look, no? You wear it like this? No. You can wear it like this. So you guys be safe, be blessed, have fun, be safe. We'll see you next week as I celebrate 8 years in the voiceover world. Troy W. Hudson.